I am 30 years old and I have never had a boyfriend. Let me tell you guys one thing. It is that being single is not scary. Oh yes, it does feel like that a lot of the times. You know, you watch your friends and people get into relationships, get out of relationships, find new relationships. Meanwhile, you're mostly just like the third wheel or in failed situationship after situationship. Of course, yes, that can make you feel lonely or it can be upsetting. Like, I get that, trust me. Even like a kick to the ego sometimes because you're like, why is this not happening for me? Yes, like I said, it can get lonely, but there's like a special type of like freedom that comes with being single. I think if you are single or, you know, are worried that you're gonna be single forever, like enjoy this time because I do think that we'll all eventually find our person. Like I definitely am still optimistic about that.
That is not going to happen.
Take this time when you're single to like really learn about yourself. I truly believe if I ever was in a relationship like in my early 20s, I would not be the person that I am today. I honestly like don't think a relationship would have been healthy for me like at that time. Much more confident in myself now and like able to like stand my ground. Also just like knowing that I'm okay being alone is such like, it's really a nice feeling to have.
Is that he asks for a picture of me. I sent the most recent one from like a couple days ago at the beach, it's Labor Day, whatever. And then he asks me if my were real, and then proceeds to ask me for topless pictures in the first hour of talking. Now I'm just wondering if I should even go on this date. This sucks.
What have you realized you like less and less the older you get?
The entire idea of being in a relationship.
Gentlemen, welcome back. Glad to have you on the channel. We have more women over 30 coming our way, so Ampu won't be smiling for too long. But now, gentlemen, let's get started.
I am 30 years old and I have never had a boyfriend. Let me tell you guys one thing. It is that being single is not scary. I made this video recently to this trending sound. It was like, cheers to Emily, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I made the caption like, this is what it feels like to be 30 years old and never having had a boyfriend. Oh yes, it does feel like that a lot of the times. You know, you watch your friends and people get into relationships, get out of relationships, find new relationships. Meanwhile, you're mostly just like the third wheel or in failed situationship after.
Guys, can we, if there is one guy watching this channel left who believes, you know, that women are single when they say they are single, please stop. Right? When women tell you I've been single, you have to increase your doubt to 99.9%. If you never trust them on that, you will be better off than if you trust them 1 out of 100 times, all right? When women say they are single, they just mean they're not committed. That doesn't mean that they're not having S3X 4 times a week with different men, with multiple men. They can say they are single and meanwhile be on dating apps or go through situationship after situationship, as this woman says, right? But before we continue, gentlemen, it really sucks for women when it's so funny when they are single but their friends are in relationships. You know, it really pisses them off. It boils their blood, gentlemen, to see that their friend Becky got a marriage and you know, is having children and she's not having problems. Her man is feeling well. Meanwhile, these women can't make a man stay for longer than 1 month, and that 1 month is only because of the kitty. You know, they get angry that the only thing that, you know, with which they lure a man is with their, you know, genitals. Meanwhile, other women have more things going on for them, and they have what it takes to be a wife, because it exposes them that essentially they are just their genitals, right? They are just what they can provide in a one-night stand. That exposes them, and they really dislike it.
Situationship. Of course, yes, that can make you feel lonely or it can be upsetting. Like, I get that, trust me. Even like a kick to the ego sometimes, because you're like, why is this not happening for me? I've seen so many comments on that post like, oh my gosh, like, I'm terrified that this is going to be me. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I feel like in society, we look at like being in a relationship as like you won at life. Really think about it. Is it though? Of course, yes, it's
Yes, it is. Period. It just is. And one of the reasons why we feel attracted to the opposite gender is because we are programmed to, at a certain point in our lives, want to procreate, right? It's the same thing with feeling hungry. Your body tells you you're hungry because you have to nourish yourself and not die, of malnourishment. It's the same with liking women or liking men. You feel attracted because it's your body telling you that you have to have offspring, and create a family. But when you use your attractiveness only as a bait, to receive attention and validation, you're not going anywhere with that, right? Guys, we'll leave the comment for later. Let's keep watching.
Nice to find, your partner and like fall in love and all of that, especially in this economy. Financially, yeah. I still love my life. I have a great family. I have great friends. I've moved to where I wanted to move. I lived in Florida for 3 years. Now I currently live in Nashville. I have a job, an okay job. Would I like it to pay me more? Of course. I'm able to spend money on myself and things I want to do.
Guys, future hidden here. As I'm editing this video, notice how this woman speaks and is interested only about herself. She wants more money, she wants more attention, she wants more validation, she wants someone to pick up the pieces, I. And then she wonders, why is she single, when she would never care for the other person. She wants a wallet, she wants a walking ATM machine, and the only reason why she wants that is because she feels lonely. She doesn't want another person because she wants to give, because she has something to offer. No, she just wants another asset in her life. But guys, now let's continue.
And yes, like I said, it can get lonely, but there's like a special type of like freedom that comes with being single. I think if you are single or, are worried that you're going to be single forever, like enjoy this time, because I do think that we'll all eventually find our person. Like I definitely am still optimistic about that. Take this.
Why exactly? She won't tell you. Why are you optimistic? Do you have anything going on for you? Do you have anything that is reasonable enough to say that there are reasons why you believe in that? Absolutely no, guys. It's just her last ounce of hope, wishing. It is just wishing. I wish I won't be alone. But that's her optimism. That's the top point of her optimism. It's not based on anything. Not on previous experience, I can tell you.
Time when you're single to like really learn about yourself. I truly believe if I ever was in a relationship like in my early 20s, I would not be the person that I am today. Growing up.
What, single and miserable? Guys, I wouldn't be the person I'm today. What person are you today, man? You're sad and alone, right? And I am not even saying this to mock her. She said that herself. You haven't made it in life, you haven't succeeded, and yes, having a family is a big part of succeeding in life. It's not for everyone. I am a strong believer, of that. It's not for everyone, but if you can do it, why not? Like, I would understand, excuse me, guys. I would understand a person not going for a for a relationship because he has all the things in life he values more. Like, I don't know, he's working towards something extremely big and he doesn't want, to spend time on a family. But you are single just because you wanted to have chat. I mean, that's all. You're not single because you've been studying a lot. You're not single because you're in a really demanding workspace. You're not single because you've been 10 years away taking care of your elderly grandma. No, you are single because you spent your early years in life messing with bad boys. Like, that's the bottom of it. If that is more important to you than a family, no man with self-respect will take you as an option. Never. The only thing left for you are simps who have no self-worth. You'll never have a man with self-respect because you have clearly shown him that you valued more your, messing with Chad than a family, right? And that doesn't make for a good mother, and that doesn't make for a good wife. But the thing with these women, guys, is they want to have their cake and eat it too. They're not willing to sacrifice the validation and Chad pumping them for a family. They're not willing to make that deal. Yet, when they get of age, they want to have both things, and it just doesn't work. They try. We see them try, right, all the time. And speaking about how they deserve and expecting, being optimistic, thinking that Prince Charming will drop any day. But it never happens, guys.
I've always been kind of like a very big pushover. I honestly don't think a relationship would have been healthy for me at that time. Much more confident in myself now, and
I'm much more confident. Translation, I am bossy and entitled and annoying. All right, for anyone wondering.
Able to stand my ground. Also just
yeah, stand my ground, meaning she's going to fight with you for every little decision you make that she dislikes.
Knowing that I'm okay being alone is such it's really a nice feeling to have, because
yeah, she's okay being alone, but she spent the last 2 minutes talking about she's not extremely okay with being alone, and she's pissed that other friends are succeeding and she's not, and she's feeling single. But I'm okay with it, guys. Just listening to these women, man, for me sometimes it's it's a constant reading between the lines. It's like reading code, and you have to translate to someone, because everything they say doesn't mean anything. You have to read between the lines. Word by word, sentences have no meaning,
I know that I don't need anybody else but myself. I don't know. I feel like our generation and stuff just worries so much about finding someone to spend their life with. If you don't have that, then you haven't fully succeeded in life. Yeah, I just want the takeaway of this video to be that being single is not scary. Do not be scared of being single. Just ranted for 3 minutes. But anyways, as always, I love you guys. Bye.
Honestly, guys, if I were a woman and I saw this other woman coping so hard, I'd genuinely be afraid, and a lot. She says, but there's no reason to be afraid after being absolutely miserable and thirsty for some company at age 30. I'd be really scared right now if I were a woman and I were in her condition, right? The takeaway of this video is, if you're willing to sacrifice having a family for having fun, that's on you. It's your life. No one is stopping you. But man up and, take the consequences of your own actions, right? It's the same it's the same thing with people who are substance addicts. They are willing to sacrifice a life of prosperity and of chasing, real purposes for having their fun with the substances. And hey, that's on you. But then you have to, be responsible and accountable for your decisions, right? But these women, guys, it's for a lot of modern women, accountability is just kryptonite, and they want to have their cake and eat it too, but as we can see on this channel, they just never do. But guys, one last thing before we continue, picture this for men. Imagine a man who, instead of working on himself, instead of going to the gym, he likes to stay home eating McDonald's. Instead of making it out in the financial world, instead of working on his job and building himself up financially, instead of that, he's been spending money on 304s and having fun. And instead of working on himself mentally and all those things, he's just been having fun for the last 20 years. And at 30, he finds himself being a weak, pathetic, low self-esteem man. Imagine him saying, you know what, I want to marry a 10 out of 10 girl, real traditional and extremely beautiful. What exactly makes you entitled to that, right? If we picture that, we just smirk, we just have a laugh, right? We say, bro, you spent your time focusing on the things that are not important. How dare you expect a traditional woman, right? But somehow, guys, when women say this exact same scenario, a lot of women in the comments are, oh yes, queen, God has this man in store for you, the universe owes it to you, you deserve, right? Just absolutely doesn't make any sense. You reap what you sow. That is the truth. The truth doesn't care about your feelings, and the world doesn't care about your feelings. You get exactly what you deserve. So think about that, guys. If you want to get something, you'll most likely get it if you work towards it, if you sacrifice what is needed, and if you put the time into it. And people who go to the gym know this. No matter who you are, no matter what your body looks like, if you go to the gym long enough, hey, you're gonna bulk up, you're gonna look better, you're gonna be healthier. That's just what it is. It's a good thing about life, right? We're not bound by circumstances in most of the cases, and we can achieve the things that we want. We can achieve being, financially successful. We can achieve having a good body. Hey, that's good, honestly, right? But it's bad for these women, guys, because they don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the time. They don't want to do the almost, the bare minimum that women need to do. It's a lot harder for men to secure women. It's so easier for women, and they don't even want to do that. Like, they don't want to do the bare minimum, which is just being a reasonable, good-hearted person.
I love you guys. Bye.
I set up a date with someone last night. We were supposed to go out and get food somewhere. So I gave him my number. We exchange information. Like, he texts me. We're texting last night. All is normal, and flag number 1 is that he asks for a picture of me. I send the most recent one from like a couple days ago at the beach. It's Labor Day, whatever. And then he asks me if my were real, and then proceeds to ask me for topless pictures in the first hour of talking. Now I'm just wondering if I should even go on this date. This sucks.
Man, I just love to see women in their 30s saying that dating sucks. It's really ironic. You know why, guys? Because dating didn't suck the last 10 years when we had all the options, but dating sucks now. And the thing is, for men, dating always sucks, right? Especially in the younger years. Like, maybe if you are 30, 40 and you're already extremely rich and your game and stuff, then maybe dating doesn't suck for you. If you are chat, or if you haven't, if you happen to be that top 5% of men, dating doesn't suck. But for the rest, for the 95% of men, dating sucks all the time. But these women, guys, dating never sucks when they're having their girl summers, going to clubs, having their drinks paid for, being taken on dates, having free meals. Dating doesn't suck then. But when they get to 30 and no one respects them and no one is looking for something serious, then we make those TikToks, with the sad piano music. Just look at her face, man. She's lost it, guys. She's lost all hope. And guys, the reason I laugh, right? Maybe there's a new person on this channel. He's thinking, wow, this channel, this guy, this Hiran, right? He really just enjoys watching women feel bad. I don't enjoy it, guys. I mean, I enjoy it a little bit, but that is because they get what they deserve. You've been treating men for the last 10 years in a bad manner. You haven't respected their time. You haven't respected their efforts. You didn't want to, quote unquote, settle down with a man who you deemed beneath your level. And those same guys are the ones right now that see you as nothing more than a S3X doll, right? Guys, I tell you, for a woman, there's really no excuse, close to no excuse for being single at your 30s. This woman, where you see her right now whining that there are no good men left, she's had multiple chances. She's met Prince Charming multiple times. There have been men writing her, hey, I'm interested in you, do you want to go on a date? I'll pay the date. Do you want to meet? Do you want to talk? And these women, guys, what they do most of the times, they just have a roster. They just have orbiters. They date multiple men to, to reap the most amount of validation and attention, and they treat men like they're objects. They treat them like ATM machines. But oh my, when men start treating me like an object, like an S3X doll, then we have a problem. Honestly, guys, I don't have a problem with it. You are being treated in the same way that you've treated men in the past. So, hey, the tables have turned, and this is what we have right now.
This sucks.
What have you realized you like less and less the older you get?
The entire idea of being in a relationship.
Wow, guys, the woman who is 30 with bright neon pink hair doesn't like relationships. Color me shocked. Let's find out why, gentlemen.
Now hear me out, because I have been the perpetually single friend for the better part of 15 years. I've had like what I like to call micro relationships here and there where
micro relationships. It's just every time, guys. It's every time when a woman says, I've been single for X amount of years, it's followed 5 seconds later by the statement, oh, but I've had micro relationships. I've had situationships on and off. Well, then you weren't single. I really miss the point, guys. I just really miss the point.
they've only lasted a couple of weeks and then they show themselves, aka they cheat on me. They are already in a relationship.
Guys, you know why they don't cheat on her? Because they were never a thing. You know, she says micro relationships, but what it was is a situationship, alright? It wasn't a relationship where the guy says, I'm interested in you, do you want to be my girlfriend? You know, let's start this, let's, you know, get this, let's start to have this really serious relationship that will lead to marriage. No, it was a guy sleeping with her on the first night, and she called it relationship. Meanwhile, the guy knew 100% that this is nothing more than a one-night stand. So don't trust you on the micro relationship things. It's just a situationship like any other.
They have a whole fucking family, or they ghost. And I continually try the dating apps because they're a double-edged sword, okay? Because as a fat woman, not a thick woman, a fat woman, it's easier to put yourself out there on dating apps and be like, yeah, I'm fucking fat. Like, this is what I look like. And the people...
At least we don't have one of those terribly annoying body positivity girls, right? At least I like the way she said I'm fat. So hey, you know, credit where credit is due. You are fat, and accepting that is the first step towards progress. So even though you have pink hair, I give you the sign of approval. Good on you for saying it that way. No body positivity. Body positivity is a crap hole. Now let's continue.
People who match with you, you assume that they're okay with it. And it feels easier. It's not easier. It is what it is. And the fact of the matter is, I have yet to find anyone that is good enough for me, and that's okay. And I'm okay with saying that, and you should be okay saying that. I also have a very strong opinion, and again, opinion, that in the dating world right now, one, there is too much of an emphasis on hookups, and like, I don't like that. That's not the kind of person that I am.
Mm-hmm. I doubt it.
And another big thing is men and maybe women, not many women have an interest in me, but the men that I meet, they don't want to be with a woman who looks like me, because you know, you want the thick girl, you know, you want the thick girl with the thick thighs and the thick butt, or blah blah blah. I'm not thick, I'm fucking fat. And you know, you can say that I'm generalizing, that's totally fine. You can have your opinion as I can. But all of these men that you see out there that put themselves out there, they're like, oh, if you're not plus size, I don't want to talk to you. They don't mean me, okay? Because I'm over 300 pounds. They don't mean me. So as I've gotten older, I've just kind of gotten okay with the fact that I'm just gonna be alone for the rest of my life, and I'm gonna watch all of my friends in their happy relationships with their happy lives, or their seemingly happy relationships. And I'm just gonna be here, sitting in my apartment, watching the Great British Bake Off, setting up my Twitch stream, and eating ice cream.
I mean, hey, look, here's the thing. You could have worked in order to not be fat. You could have done that, right? You could have not dyed your hair pink. That's another thing. And you could have managed your life in such a way that you don't end up single. Guys, the amount of people, and I'm talking about women, who cannot find someone, they are it's not even 1%, but let's say 1% of women who are the most, the ugliest woman on earth. They are the only people that are not able to make a man stay because they're extremely unattractive. But even in those cases, guys, they are extremely unattractive men as well. So you see, they can just date them. For women, it's close to impossible to, if you want and if you work towards it, find a man. Okay, it's close to impossible. You really have to try hard to not make it as a woman. And these women try hard, gentlemen. They put a lot of effort into trashing their lives. They put a lot of effort into going through situationships, increasing their body count by the dozens, spending years and years at a time in order to not have a relationship, okay? That's the bottom line. So, same for this woman, guys. You have the option to not be fat, you have the option to not dye your hair pink, and you have the option to not be single. But you haven't done that, right? You've wasted your years trying to be single forever, because every action you take leads somewhere. And if you don't stop to think about that, no one will. The thing is, God doesn't have someone in store for you. God will not come out of the heavens to fix your life when you yourself have made the wrong choices, right? The universe doesn't have in store Prince Charming, right? Karma doesn't owe you anything. It's on you. You are the one who creates your life, and you are the one who reaps what he sow, So if you want to have a man, work towards that. And if you are the type of woman who has what it takes, let me tell you, you won't even need to find a man. Men will flock towards you. Men are thirsty for a woman who is humble, attractive, pleasant to be around, who is loyal. Men are thirsty for that. You don't even need to try. That's the good thing with women. You are not the one who is supposed to be competitive with other men. Women, they like to date up. Women are selective. Men are not selective. A millionaire will date a McDonald's cashier. Men are not selective. You don't even have to compete. You have to reach the bare minimum and men will flock towards you, right? It's so funny to me as a man to have to explain to a woman how easy dating is, because the truth is, guys, we just have it a lot harder than these women. And I'm not saying that to whine. I don't really care, honestly, about the game. But the thing is, it's kind of ironic how the people who have it the easiest are having so much trouble. But in the end, gentlemen, as mentioned, it's just because they haven't tried enough. They haven't tried at all. I'll leave it at that. But gentlemen, leave me your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you for watching this beautiful video, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.